Superpowers. We all love them. We've all seen a Marvel movie. I don't think I need to catch you up on the concept of a superpower if you've grown up in this day and age. In this video, I want to talk about some of the most popular superpowers in fiction and ranking them in a tier list. And the only criteria I'll be using here is I'm going to be the most brutal critic of all time. Okay? This is going to be realistically how each of these superpowers would have you either worse off or better off in this modern society. We ain't going to be playing this BS over, oh, well, I have super speed. I'll never be able to get touched. Blah, blah, no. Okay? We're going to be honest here, okay? Some of these superpowers that your favorite superheroes have are borderline a disability. And I'm going to explain to you within the next 15 minutes, okay? I don't want to have a super long intro here. All I gotta say is thank you guys for your continued support. It is absolutely insane how fast this channel is growing. I believe at the time of this making this video, we are at 12,000 subscribers, which is insane, by the way. And this was a highly requested YouTube video in the Discord. Link is going to be in the description down below. That's probably the easiest way to get your suggestions to me. We have a full tab for it. And I just want to say thank you, everybody. And let's start this superhero power rankings tier list. Let's get started. Laser vision. Here's the problem with laser vision, guys. I think heat vision, laser eyes, whatever you want to call it, is potentially one of the worst superpowers of all time. Okay, because it depends on what type of laser eyes we're getting, okay? Are we getting a Superman laser eyes where I can just turn it off and on at will and I can burn through just about every material on the planet except for sometimes inconsistency crystals? I don't know. That's a weird thing to me. Or you get the Cyclops vision, okay? Where I have to wear the dumbest looking sunglasses in the history of fiction, or if I take them off, I'm going to annihilate my whole family. Okay? Like, imagine if you had the Cyclops heat vision, dude, and you had to wear sunglasses 24/7. And not just that, dude. You have to fall asleep with the sunglasses on. I know somebody's going to say, well, if you close your eyes, the heat's not going to come out. You're telling me you have never woke up in the night and just opened your eyes? You're like, what if you roll over in your sleep and they get knocked off and you wake up and boom, the second floor of my house is gone? Okay, like, I think heat vision is one of the worst superpowers of all time if you get the wrong heat vision. Like, I understand the original X-Men was supposed to be an allegory for disability. If anybody didn't realize that the X-Men house is basically Marvel's house for disabilities, that's not even a controversial thing. That is quite literally what it was, made by Stan Lee. Okay? Just some of the superpowers are admittedly more cool. Heat vision, like, am I getting Homelander heat vision or Cyclops? That determines its ranking. Okay? Like, it could be bad to goated. Okay? I think because of the large spectrum of how awesome or terrible it could be, I think it earns a spot in our good, okay? Perfect middle of the road between bad and goated, okay? We gotta specify. If it's Cyclops heat vision, is anybody gonna argue with me and say that that is one of the worst powers ever? Like, how long are you gonna be wearing these puppies before you decide, you know what? Fuck it, I'm taking them off. Super strength, okay? Listen, I've watched a lot of videos explaining the uncomfortable truths of super strength. The fact is if you just got slightly too excited, you would probably die. Like, no, what I mean by probably die, I mean, like, you'd probably kill everybody that's around you. Like, we've all had moments going through puberty of like, man, I don't know my own strength, okay? Imagine that, but like, one false move, you could cripple your mother, okay? Imagine going in for a hug with super strength for the first time, and you go to give your mom a hug, and then boom, you turned her into a Play-Doh puss-out mold. Absolutely horrific. But I mean, like, that is the reality of super strength, dude. And let's be real here. What a weak power, ironically. Like, think about this, dude. You gotta combine it with invulnerability for it to be viable. Because, listen, man, from first-hand experience doing martial arts, that's why I got cauliflower here, okay? I will be the first one to tell you, boxing, kickboxing, Jiu-jitsu, judo, that doesn't do shit to gun fu, okay? The moment somebody decides they're John Wick, you're done. That's the same thing with super strength. If you're not invulnerable, that's cool. I guarantee you the bullet traveling 500 meters a second is gonna hit you before you decide to hum up. Like, what a weak power. Honestly, dude. Like, then combine with that, the fact that, oh yeah, you're probably not gonna be able to control it very often. You're probably never gonna be able to get laid in your life. Like, genuinely, dude, I went down a whole rabbit hole trying to figure out the actual science of how Superman isn't just destroying Lois Lane every single time they decide to have a little celebration. Okay? And I came to a real scientific figure that it would be like hitting Lois Lane with a jackhammer. Absolutely not! Okay? Like, brother, that sounds like such a lonely existence. Super strength is overrated. It would be cool for maybe 5 minutes, and then you open your door and you launch that halfway to the moon. Bad superpower. Super speed. Okay, guys, listen. Before you guys, you thrash me in the comment section, okay? There's legitimately going to be some good superpowers. I'm not going to degrade every superpower here. However, I'm going to degrade this one. Super speed, again, severely overrated, bro. What are you talking about? You gotta be invulnerable for this to work. Dog, okay, let me give you a little lesson in physics, okay? You see, if you traveled at Mach 2, okay? You were traveling Mach 2, just running. There is not a shoe that's made on this damn planet that would not be immediately ripped off your body the moment you got to that speed. You would need to have some, like, NASA grade coming in on impact and it won't melt off your body. Some low heat conductive material to use as a super suit. That's one thing I did like about the really bad Justice League movie, is because they did, and that's another problem, okay? So they acknowledge the weird parts of having the powers of the Flash, is that your clothing would pretty much disappear the moment you decided to go. But then they kind of just dropped it and he used his powers in normal clothing. I understand the Speed Force is a little bit different than just super speed like A-Train. But like, not really though. Dude, if say you're going at Mach 2, running down the street, okay? Any dog that is in front of you is getting annihilated, okay? And one thing that you have to add with super speed is hyper reaction time. There is, okay, your reaction time to outside stimuli. When I mean by stimuli, I'm not talking about something touching you. I mean something going in front of you. Your eyes picking up on that stimuli is going to be slower than the speed that you're going. For example, if a child were to walk in front of you, you would just decimate the child the boys style. That's something that the boys actually got right. However, this would be the horrific part about it. You would also be turned into meat pudding. Dude, you have to be invulnerable for super speed to be viable. Unless you're just going to be going, yeah, I go a little bit faster than Usain Bolt. That's not even a superpower, bro. I can outspeed you on a Mazda 5. That's not a flex, bro. Get a car. Well, like, super speed, again, vastly overrated unless you get hyper reaction speed and damn near invulnerability, or you're going to turn yourself, the neighborhood dog, the child that's down the street. Brother, you could walk into a penny and die, because if you go at the speed of a bullet walking at a quarter, the quarter's going to hit you with the same not pounds of force, the same newtons of force as a bullet. That is how that works. Super speed is almost useless. Bad. Reading minds. Goated. Okay, like, hear me out, bro. The only bad part about possibly being able to read minds is that you're not going to be able to turn it off. That is the only bad part about it. Okay? But I like, not to trash, okay, Professor Xavier, but I am going to trash him. He is a bald dude that is around a lot of young underage women. You don't think I'm picking up on this. I'm getting some Dr. Disrespect vibes from Dr. Xavier, okay? That's all I'm saying. But I'm gonna say this. 100% you would realize that you are reading somebody's mind the first time, like, oh yeah, when I'm alone, there's no voices. But whenever I'm by somebody, I hear them, but they're not talking. Like, I thought you were a genius. That seems like very one-in-one logic. As a 5-year-old, I think I would figure that out very quickly. And so, okay, you have to be alone? Okay, I don't even really like being around people, okay? If you see me in my day-to-day life, honestly, the only times that you could possibly see me is, one, I'm going to Walmart to pick up coffee, I'm going to a restaurant with the fam, or I'm going to jiu-jitsu practice because I need something to do. That is the only times that you're gonna see me in my day-to-day life, so okay, that's cool. 3 times a day I'll have to be around people? Okay. But if I could turn it off and on, goated power, dude. I could go up to, like, you could abuse this power so insanely hard, dude. Do I even need to explain to you how reading somebody's mind, okay, would be broken? Okay? For one, bro, politics would be the easiest job in the world. If you gave me the power to read minds, okay, I'm either going to be the best businessman of all time, a serial blackmailer. Like, I'll be real, if you gave me the power to read minds, I'm probably not going to use it for the most morally admirable things. I'm going to get into business or politics, and I'm going to use that to get my way to the top, because the moment you think something, I'm going to find a way to blackmail you. Okay? That's how it's going to play out. And I'm not going to feel bad because it's business and politics. Brother, I could be a lawyer and have mind reading powers and I would win. Okay? Like, easily. And it would be so easy to prove, too, dude. I would just have to convince a few people that I could read minds. Brother, I would be a cult leader. Okay? To quote the dude who started Scientology, the real money is in religion. Dude, do you have any idea how easy it would be to start a cult if you could read minds? Brother, I could win the world with parlor tricks, okay? Absolutely easy. I'm putting it in awesome, because the only bad part is that you could possibly never be able to turn it off. But that would still make it a good superpower. Talking to animals. What a weak power, bro. What do? I hear the squirrels chirping. Alright, bro. Put it in the bag. Like, legitimately, what do I do with that? Do I become a next level veterinarian? Like, if your ability is to talk to animals, your job has to be working with animals. You don't have that job and then you're an accountant, but realistically you would want to be away from animals. Because we've talked about this, dude. Being able to hear what animals think has to be one of the most horrifying existences ever. Okay? I'm not even talking about like a Rick and Morty bit, dude. Imagine, like, you would have to be a vegan. Okay? Like, I don't think as a human race we are mature enough to be able to understand what humans are saying. Dog, if you walked into the ocean, okay, and you stuck your head underwater, and you could hear every single thing that the fish are saying. And here's another thing. The fish probably aren't having high intellect conversations. They're probably saying something like, fish, worm, fish, laid, eggs, babies, fish. Like, they're not having great conversations, okay? A dolphin might be able to be near our level, but I think they would have stuff like, woman is alone. If you know about dolphins, you understand why that is probably what they talk about on a daily basis. Dolphins are the #1 op. I do not respect them. I got beef with dolphins. But yeah, talking to animals, dude. Like, I practically already talk with my dogs right now. But, like, it would get real annoying if I'm just laying down and I hear my dog Wilbur stroll up and say, "Get up! I gotta shit!" Like, he practically already does that. I don't need to be cussed out by my dog. Bad. Flying. You know what I'm about to say, bro. Come on. Like, we know how this is gonna play. Bro, flying is such an overrated power, dude. What are you going to do in the US of A, okay? Doug, they want to ban drones. They want to ban drones because they realize how effective they were. Even before they were banned, you would always have the redneck Kyle hit it out of the fucking sky with his $15 BB gun that he's been training with ever since he was 3 years old, because all bro is surviving on is cattail and Monster Energy. That's a Michigan thing. If anybody doesn't understand that, consider yourself lucky. But flying, dude, like, where are you flying, by the way? Like, let's be real here. If I say I'm able to fly as fast, like, we're not even going to cover the physics part of this, but, like, let's say I start flying, okay, Superman style. I'm going through the air, minding my own business. 15 minutes later, I'm blown out of the fucking sky by a hypersonic missile. Brother, we have AI automated turrets that shoot 500 bullets a second that have a 99.9% chance of hitting the target. And the 0.001% chance it's not going to hit you was the warning shot. Okay? It sounds like an America Glaze, but like, brother, if you're going through American airspace, okay, and you don't have a way of communicating to ground, they're going to think you're a ground-to-air missile that some group put in America to stage an attack. You would be shot down so ridiculously fast, okay? And if you think to yourself, oh, there's no way they're going to hit me. Brother, we invented the surgical strike. What type of name is that? We have a bomb that can hit you so accurately that we have to know where you're going to be seated in the fucking car. Brother, I remember hearing the story that we were hunting down this dude in the Middle East, and after 3 months of like staking him out, we found out that he takes this car to his work, okay? But he always sat in shotgun. They hit him with a missile full of razor blades, and everybody else survived except for the dude sitting shotgun. If that is not the most American thing you've ever heard of, I don't know what to tell you. They are going to hit you out of the sky. Now let's talk about the physics portion of this. You know how I said earlier, if you are running super fast, your reaction speed is not going to be as fast as your actual speed. And if you were to hit a quarter at the speed of a bullet, it would do the same amount of damage as the bullet hitting you. One seagull and you're dead. Dog, do you have any idea how many times a plane hits a bird? You would be infinitely more dead. Like, do I need to, bro, what are we talking about right now? Of course flying is overrated. Also, let's talk about that it's below freezing once you get to a certain point of the atmosphere. You're gonna need an oxygen mask, or you're gonna have to train yourself with high altitude training. I was gonna say high elevation training, because your lungs aren't going to be used to that. You can't really go through clouds. Well, you can, but it's going to be so painful, because one thing that they don't really tell you, I didn't even know this until one of my buddies that was a skydiver told me this. Yeah, if you go through a cloud when you're skydiving, it feels like razor blades are hitting you. You ever run during a rainstorm? Have you ever driven a motorcycle through the rain? Imagine that, but 3 times that pain. Absolutely. I say this once a video. You are cooked if you fly. Between everything, one of the most useless powers of all time. I actually put talking to animals in meh. That's how bad it is. Healing factor. Okay. I actually don't have anything bad to say about this one. Let me just first start by saying this. When I started making this video, I was gonna try to be... I think I am being the toughest critic on superpowers ever. But when I tried to figure out something tough for healing factor, the only thing that I could think of was that you live a little bit too long. Like, yes, living as long as the Wolverine would suck, but it's not quite immortality. It really isn't. And yes, I'm not a fan of immortality. But a healing factor, dude, do you have any idea how much you could sell your organs on the dark web for? Okay? Like, you would have a completely different type of issue, dude. If you gave me a healing factor, dude, I would become a millionaire in 3 months. Okay? I would be selling my liver over and over again. I would find a way for them to keep me on a machine that was like the Iron Heart, and I would pay off some dude with the money that I got from selling off my blood and livers. I say livers plural because it would quite literally be livers. And I would have him keep me alive with an Iron Heart, and I'm just going to endlessly donate hearts into the black market. That's what I'm going to do. I would make such an unreal amount of money from this, okay? I would become so wealthy. I would start my own company, and I would say my organs were 3D printed. Like, I would be unstoppable. I'd like multiple and I have a cover story, dude. People say, well, how has he lived so long? Because his product is so good. He just keeps on replacing his organs. Dog, there's a tech billionaire that's trying to make himself 20 years younger because he just keeps on getting blood transfusions from his child. I could just endlessly donate my plasma over and over again. Goated. I'm gonna put this one in awesome, okay? I'm not goated. We're close. Awesome. Reading minds might be... Actually, regeneration's more powerful than mind reading. Awesome power. Time manipulation. Okay. Get real with me, okay? Let's zoom in real quick. I know, statistically speaking, there is one of you guys watching this that in middle school, in high school, you had this type of conversation with your friends, and you thought to yourself, man, wouldn't it be really cool to pause time? But, like, I moved at the same speed. Nah, don't be clicking away. I'm on to you. I know you've had this before. You want to know why? Because I've thought this before. I know you. Don't get away from this. I'm not going to lie to you, though. I had to put this one on here because it is the most goated power ever. You could abuse this in so many different ways. Not in the way that you're thinking of, Dirty Dan. But in so many other ways, bro. Okay? Like, do I even need... Like, first off, it would be almost impossible for you to get assassinated. Almost impossible. You could abuse this in any type of sporting event ever. You wouldn't need hyper reaction time, really, because I would just be like, yeah, no. Pause. Switch stuff around. Go. It would, like, in a practical sense, it would be one of the most useful powers of all time, because it would be like being like Quicksilver minus the drags. I could just be like, you know what? I'm not into this. Done. And if we're going full time manipulation and not just pausing time, I could speed time up. Like, do I need to explain to you, Dirty Dan, why this power is so great? Goated power. It is the best power. I can't really name a power that would be better than this one. Being a super genius. Okay. This one is such a weird power to me because it's like a soft core power, but it's like we also do have super geniuses. Like, here's the problem. There would be a few problems with this. Number one, you have to acknowledge the amount of mental disorders that are linked to intellect. I went down a huge rabbit hole where they debated that the higher your intellect, the more likely you are to suffer from some sort of chronic mental disorder. Everything from depression, schizophrenia, anything. They have found that there is a weird link to IQ and intellect. When people say that being, what's the best way of saying this without being mean? The lower the IQ, the more of the bliss. Let's just say that. There is a blissful ignorance, okay? If you don't know about the problems in the world don't really exist to you because of your perception. Your perceptions of things is your reality. We do not live in really a defined reality. We have a few things that are defined, but for the most part, your perception is your reality. So if you're super smart, okay, you're either going to be so astronomically depressed, because I found the more things that I found out, really in most cases, the sadder I become. There's a few things that keep things good, but for the most part, the more things you find out about the world, the more depressing it is. Yeah, no, is it kind of crazy that most of our prisons are private prisons? Is it kind of crazy that the prison unions are also advocating for there to be a required time to be served if you, dealt a previous illegal substance? Is there some effed up stuff in our society that, yeah, if you look into it, it makes you depressed? Yes. If you are a super genius, yeah, I think that would be multiplied by 10. Yeah, cool, you'd be able to run a business, maybe be able to change things, but you're not bulletproof, bud. And on top of that, there's also the scenario where you come on too strong and you're basically Terrence Howard. I'm not saying Terrence Howard is smart, okay? I think Terrence Howard is a smart guy who figured out one thing and he built an entire career off that one thing and tried to connect it to everything. And that way he could say, I figured out the universe. In reality, you found one error in geometry. That is really what you did. When he said, oh, well, I got 29 different patents, brother, there are patents on technology that is, brother, the CIA has patents on technology to, like, give people a out-of-body experience when they're psychics. We spent $5 million to find out if voodoo was real, and there are patents on that technology that the government owns. Just because you have a patent doesn't mean it means anything. But, side tangent away, yeah, you're either going to be super depressed, Terrence Howard, or just a ultra-successful businessman. It's not as bad as any of these. I'm going to put it at the top of meh. Okay, top of meh, I think is valid. Invulnerability. Listen, this one is probably one of the best on here. Like, that's just a fact, okay? Now, where it could get dicey is if you don't feel pain. However, this is the part. Not feeling pain and being invulnerable are not necessarily the same thing. Being invulnerable, it just means, like, yeah, you're probably not going to die due to outside means. That is a goated power. I don't care what you say. It really is going to be up there. I can't really think of something that's bad. Maybe, yeah, if you get captured and you can feel pain, but you're not invulnerable, it's just going to be an endless, like, end of torture. But, like, we could play this game with literally any power ever, okay? Like that's the problem that we run into. Being invulnerable, it is a weird one, I agree with you. But at the same time, just merely being invulnerable, dude, absolutely goated. I'm gonna put this, yeah, I gotta put this one in goated. Not quite as overpowered as time manipulation, but damn, is it pretty close. Teleportation. This one's tough, okay? Because if you actually look into what teleportation entails, you are transferring the atoms that make up your body into another place almost instantaneously. Or about at the speed of light. The problem with this power is you would almost always teleport naked. You would have to. And the moment that you teleport somewhere that's a public area, and you just go in, appear out of nowhere naked, boom, you're on a list. Or, worst off, the government finds out and they experiment on you. But the caveat to that would be how they're going to catch you if you could just teleport out of anywhere that they want you to be. Like, they would be forced to be kind to you because they couldn't really keep you still. Yeah, of course, they could just resort to assassinating you, but I mean, like, I feel like that would be more of a missed opportunity. All you got to do is be nice to the teleporting guy. Traveling would be easy. Gas money would be non-existent. You would just have to memorize where, like, you would have to teleport into bathroom stalls everywhere. You would have to set up areas where you would teleport. Because, if you teleport with your clothes on, it's just awkward because you just appeared out of nowhere. If you teleport without your clothes on, you're just... Brother, you're about to go on the EDP list out of nowhere. Imagine you're trying to teleport into your house, and boom, you teleport naked into the center of a subdivision. Absolutely cooked, brother. I'm going to say it again. Teleportation, that's such a mixed bag. However, it could go really well with some planning. I'm going to put this one, top of good, going into awesome. And finally, the big one, the big G, immortality. Listen, dude, like, immortality, overrated, okay? What gives life meaning, what gives everything meaning in your life is the finite nature of it. The whole reason that we assign money to really anything, think about it, dude. The reason that you get paid per hour is how much is your time worth. The reason that you get a salary is how much is your 40 hours a week, 365 days a year. How much is that worth to your time? How much is peanut butter worth, okay? You're going to pay $5 for peanut butter? That's probably, for a lot of people, that might be a quarter, a half of their wage, depending on how you're working. Customer service is rough. I agree with you guys there. The whole reason that money has meaning is because we relate it to time and the finite nature of it. Everything that has value is because it's finite. The love that you have for your parents, your children, your dogs, everybody, is because you realize that the time that you have with them is, again, finite. Being immortal would have to turn you into a cynic because everything that did have value no longer does. Why would I care for my loved ones if I know my time with them is limited, but my time here is unlimited? Maybe it would make you care for them even more, but then you're just destined to be alone. Why, after they're all gone, why would you love anybody? Why would you cause that heartbreak to somebody? Like, you would have to be a beacon of wisdom of lost knowledge to the people around you. You would have to become a sort leader. You would have to become some sort of religious figure. Because it would almost be your responsibility. You cannot love anybody because you're not going to be with them. It sounds deep, but immortality is a very depressing power if you really think about it, okay? I'm sorry I had to get philosophical on you. But saying immortality sucks because you live forever doesn't really pay the bills. No, we're gonna go deep on it. Immortality, though, it wouldn't be the worst one, but it would be meh. Actually, it might be the worst one. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'll put it at the top of bad because there is a silver lining to it. You'd be able to see your bloodline continue. You'd be able to guide your bloodline. But at the same time, sooner or later, it will come to an end if we're talking immortality, like godlike immortality. And there you go. That is my brutally honest rankings of superpowers that you guys have requested. And to be honest with you, I think this turned out pretty good, okay? This is the tier list right here. I'm going to be reading them all for you. We got Time Manipulation and Invulnerability are goated. Healing Factor and Mind Reading, awesome. Teleportation, Laser Eyes are good. Super Genius, Talking to Animals, meh. And all of the bad ones are as followed. Immortality, Super Strength, Super Speed, and Flight. I think I did pretty good. I just want to say, again, thank you guys for your support. And if I had to do a goal for you guys, if you guys are still listening to this video, I assume you guys are either subscribed or planning on subscribing. I would like to get to 50,000 subs by the end of the year. That is my goal. And 100,000 subs by this time next year. I think that is very doable for me and my community. I just want to say thank you guys for your continued support. And if you have a tier list idea, put it in the comment section down below. And I hope y'all have a blessed day. Adios, guys.